it's all about. These are fantastic creatures, to be so close to them and feel them and touch them and get some response from them. One of the great advantages of being so close up is you can feel the texture of the skin. You can bond with the animal to some extent, feel the soft, smooth warmth of the body. And knowing you've got a 2-ton animal standing there, allowing you to touch and feel him, and it's just a fantastic feeling. And I think that really does help when you're working on a painting of a rhino. You know, that somehow comes through in your work when you have had the fortune to be able to touch and feel and bond with one of these animals, even if it's for a few seconds. Right, now we've introduced ourselves to the white rhinos, we're back up here in Marwell Hall, and we're going to paint a portrait of a white rhino called Kiri, who we met earlier. I've penciled in a rough sketch of Kiri, and we'll be working from a photograph because obviously we can't get Kiri in here very easily, and she won't sit still if we did get her in here. First of all, I'm going to block in some colours. I'm going to mix titanium white with some Payne's grey and some cerulean blue, and we'll put in the detail later on. I'm not starting with anything in particular here. One of the difficulties is painting white on white. You can't really see what you're doing, so you have to paint kind of an off-white for the light areas. As you can see, we're just putting a fairly thin wash of colour over here. I always figure this is like riding a bicycle. You have to wobble backwards and forwards before you get the true line. Okay, it's looking a little bit strange here, but these colours are just blocked in underneath and they don't really matter because we're going to paint over these later on. And this side of the middle horn is in shade here, so we're whacking a little bit of burnt umber and some Payne's grey. And there's a little bit of a shadow behind the horn there, which we'll try and capture just there. And we've got a very white ear up the top there, which is painting that in. As I say, painting white on white can be a little tricky. The way round it is by painting an off-white, so you can see where your white has to go at a later stage. Made that shadow a little bit too dark there, and oops. Let's start putting a bit of the shadow in now. Again, same colours, Payne's grey, bit of burnt umber, titanium white, touch of cerulean blue. Finer brush to deal with a finer area. And this magnificent looking stick is my marl stick, which helps me steady my hand when I'm doing fine work. Used a little bit of Mars orange, which is a nice colour, and a little bit of Payne's grey. I'll just leave a little dot of white there for the reflection. For the minute. And, keep this nice and thin so we can do a fine line. I think just roughly like that. Now I'm going to go to a brush called a rigger, which will give us a long, thin, fine line. Great brush, and it's called a rigger because marine artists use this for the rigging of ships. Yeah, not the real, paintings of rigging. That is not real rigging. And I'll mix in Payne's grey with burnt umber. He's got kind of a dark under eyelid, if such a thing. Whatever it is, it's dark. And we've got some shading that's coming in from the right-hand side of the canvas, which we want to put in here as well. Okay, trying not to obliterate the wrinkles in the same time. little bit of itsy bitsy shadow above the eyelid there. Okay, back to a bigger brush now while we. I don't know what on earth this is under his chin here, but I'm a bit carried away with my colour scheme. Put some nice burnt umber and Payne's grey again. Okay. Kind of a shadow going across there. Shadow going here. Okay, what's that? Should be a shadow here somewhere. Okay, let's keep the old purple lake and a bit of the Alarizian crimson in here. Oops, not quite that much. Not that much. Let's see if we can risk it with a bit of cerulean blue. Back to the finer brush again. We'll put in a bit of shade up on the ear here. Just define it a little bit.